Good morning, everybody. Man, I am on a roll with these readings. I haven't done this many readings like ever in like a row. Okay, so this is our 2 deck or duo deck reading for our Omega pool. What I'm gonna do this month, and it's a little bit like, I feel weird about it, but I will actually put some of these readings public just so people can kind of see like what I do, and then we'll close it off next month to the tiers. But I'll sit on that and see how I feel about it. I'm just really nervous about like just like asking people to like do this with me. I don't know. I'll just kind of like release it to the world and see like how it goes. So it's raining really hard here right now, and I do have some music going. So let me just turn that down. Okay, and if you can't hear me through the rain, I will try and like talk louder. So, duo deck reading. It's actually a trio because I pulled a Messages of Life card on top of the other two, just as like a governing message, just to give you guys like a bit more of like a direction and like a positive overall message, because sometimes readings can be quite like a bit of a drag. So this morning I have Bastet with me. She is one of my main I guess like spirit guides. I call them my team. So I have quite a few of my team here with me today, and I have got an amethyst crystal, working still with the sun aura quartz. I finally am going to show you guys this after mentioning it in like 2 of the other readings. So that's what that looks like. It's very pretty. And then we have a tiger's eye and an obsidian. Ooh, pretty. And of course my gigantic citrine that I definitely stole from my mum. I don't know if she's noticed if I've taken it yet. Okay. So what we're looking at overall this month, a majority of my readings have been situated around fear and recognizing fear and transforming fear, and kind of just like starting to clear out the clutter and like the bullshit negativity that you're kind of telling yourself and sitting in. So I have used my Nordic deck for this reading as well. So I've got the Viking cards, which are very fair. I feel like they're very balanced, and some of the other readings I've done have been quite like negative. Not negative, just real. So I like the Viking deck because it does deliver quite a nice like balanced view, and I also descend from a Nordic ancestry, so I vibe super hard with that kind of stuff, and I did giggle actually at the card that I pulled out for you guys. So I have already done this reading. I do take time to meditate on it and sit on it to get like the initial messages from the cards, and then I will refer to the books that come with the cards, and then I tune in and will read from my notes, but also via intuition, like as I go through. So the other deck that I have read from today is the Soul card deck. They are like, yo, like what even is that? And I thought it was kind of funny because I like matched Bastet, so it's hilarious. Alrighty, so what we're looking at here, I'll start with Odin. This is who I pulled out of the Nordic deck. The All-Father, the Wise. He is an amazing energy to have with you. Interesting because before I like read about the cards, I pulled I think it was the 2 or 3, the 2 of Pentacles here. And Odin is also kind of like situated with like duality, and I wrote down duality with this card. So it's duality is like 2 kind of opposite ends of the scale. and they kind of coexist. So I thought that was really cool that I wrote down that, and then it was like Odin, the jewel, and I was like, oh great. So Odin is about seeking guidance to resolve an issue. And it's weird because I feel like there's not just one area that people are kind of experiencing issues in, but two. I keep on getting like personal home life and career kind of stuff. And career isn't necessarily like your boss is being mean to you or whatever. It's more so coming from like an introspective world of like needing more and wanting more, or like like you're sitting in a dead-end job and you're like dreaming of like your like ideal scenario, but like not actually being brave enough to take the steps to do what you want to do, even though that's what this month is actually all about. Like my lunar reading brought up the whole like resolving fear and like living in the past and the what ifs and the buts and the howevers. So all of my readings are kind of like starting to slowly link to each other, and it's like, okay, how many times can I come at fear from different angles? So but yeah, seeking guidance to resolve an issue. So guidance could be like internal guidance, so you like go within and you do what I do, where I like meditate and I go to my cards and I talk to like my spiritual mentors, and I do a lot of healing work on myself with like higher dimensional frequencies, and I even, you know, talk to like my soul family, like of my, you know, my other spiritual friends who, you know, they might do readings or whatever, and they're like quite tuned into the world, so we will often like have some conversations about like how we're feeling, and that is really nice. I am seeing 3, which is like for like relationships, so that could be like friendships or like romantic relationships, but it's not your romance sector is actually not put into question this month, which is nice, because usually everyone's like, what about my love life? And it's like, what about your friendships this month? So I'm seeing 3, and the way that it's kind of going is you've got like the opposing ends and then the one in the middle, and it's not always bad to have somebody in the middle when an issue becomes too big for the two to resolve on their own. Sometimes having that third eye and third person perspective can actually help like smooth out whatever's kind of going on between the two. And I have actually just experienced this myself. And I did pull a card later in June that did say like bringing in a third party to resolve an issue could actually be a thing. So that actually is quite related to that as well. And like don't like sit on it for too long either, because there's going to be a time where like your opportunity to resolve something has expired, and you just will then have to like drop it and move on, and that might end up causing like more like upset, and it'll take you longer to get over, because we all love to wallow. I also feel like education is like a really big thing here, and I do kind of overlap education and career a little bit. Usually one will go hand in hand with the other, duality maybe. Gathering knowledge from a variety of sources, respect experience. Sometimes we're a little bit shotgun, like I am such a criminal for it, where like I'll learn something and be like, yeah, I'm all powerful in my brain, and like think I am like I've just taken a step up in the knowledge ladder, when in reality I've like literally just risen a tiny bit, and I need to take more steps to like raise up the ladder, if that makes sense. I just get really excited for the fact that like I learned something new, and I feel like it's such a positive thing. So respecting experience, like if you are seeking knowledge, if you're seeking knowledge and you're already, it's like you're seeking, what are you seeking? Like experience? Seeking like a new path? seeking change in some way. I literally had a person just pop to mind. Seeking change or seeking something. You're like seeking a forwards motion in some way. And what I'm seeing is like you're already like really like maybe highly educated in one field, and you're wanting to like go into another where you might not be quite as highly educated, or maybe not educated yet at all. You just have like an interest in it, but you need to let go of, I don't want to say arrogance, but it's like you need to let go of the fact that you're going to be a beginner again, and that you aren't going to be at the top of that field straight away. But if you've got the ambition there and the thirst for that knowledge, then obviously you will climb the knowledge ladder. But like respect that experience. And like I've written down here also here, listening to the education and wisdom of others is invaluable to develop our listening to the education and wisdom of others is invaluable to our growth and development. So I think that is highlighting quite a few different areas, not just like maybe changing careers or like seeking out like new education. That can definitely come in personal relationships as well. Personal relationships, that's so loud, but like not a highlight on romantic. It's more like family dynamics and like friendship dynamics and like soul family dynamics. So like your family, like your blood family, is not always going to be considered like your family, but the people who you like share a vibration with, like I think there's like some growth, some like uneven growth happening there. The biggest thing with Odin is that you must undergo pain in order to obtain wisdom. So releasing fear and doing work around your fear is really important, so that you can have enough room like in your psyche to like fill it with abundance and like make room for like new good things to come in, and don't let those spaces be filled with like grotty anxiety and fear. He is a god of subtle duality. He is the bloody god of war and death, but also a god of storytelling and intelligence. So that's again like you've got to go through the wars in order to gain experience and knowledge. He discovered the runes as well, which I just thought was like an interesting little thing about him. They are the oracular tool of messages. So I was going to actually pull a runes card, but I couldn't find my deck. I think I've hidden it somewhere when I moved. The more you know about a situation, the better you can assess it. So at the moment, I've actually had this conversation with like several of my friends about being the topic of gossip. And then my one of my spiritual people, I consider her my spiritual mentor is Ashtara Ren, and she brought up gossip as like a thing for like our starseed transmission this month, and I was like, what the fuck, it's so true. So when you gossip or you're met with gossip, like I can feel it. It's like static electricity, like just that kind of is like on one side of me, and I can always feel when people are like having a chat about me. And it's not always negative, but it's not always like a positive thing either. So when you're like met with that energy, I keep seeing in my mind like a mirror, and you start to mirror that energy. So when they like pop into your brain, you start talking about them as well, and you send it right back. And it's such a naughty thing that we do. And we like talking about people, obviously we are going to do that, but it's like the intention behind how you speak about somebody. And I've had to learn that lesson quite heavily. Like I used to talk a lot of shit because I didn't understand like why people were the way they were. And I had like one or two friends who I would like say this to, and then they'd be like, oh, me about them, and then I'd be like, me, and just be an idiot. So I always try and remember that there's another side to the story as well. So if you're like finding yourself as like a topic of gossip and it's making you angry, or you've got like, you're having like a weird experience with somebody and it's like upsetting you, try your best to like research the situation or just go straight to them and like ask them what's going on. Like that's really hard for us. Like courage is like confronting stuff like that's really hard, but like it's so amazing what communication can achieve. So yeah, like know your scenarios, like know your situations before you like start to develop feelings about them, or if you hear something that's confusing, like actually look into it before you get all like about stuff. Because you'll find more often than not that like you're overthinking something, or you're paranoid or whatever. And so that is Odin for you. Knowledge, development, wisdom, duality. Amazing. I think he's so cool. So cool. Alright. So we're looking at my soul card deck. So these ones like pretty much look like what you would consider like a normal tarot deck, or like a traditional tarot deck, by the way of like how they're structured. So you've got like your major arcana and your minor arcana cards. So I actually pulled all minor arcana for this one, and like it's in a row. It's like the two of and I promise you I like shuffled the shit out of them. The two of pentacles, the three of pentacles, and then the page of pentacles. Oh, it's like so many pentacles, which is good because pentacles like talks about like wealth, and everyone's gonna go, oh, money. It's like not always about money. Wealth can come in many different forms. So just we'll quickly go through these. So the two of pentacles is the card that I wrote down about duality. So two ends of the scale kind of like existing together, not good, not bad. It's kind of just balancing. And I also wrote down balance. Juggling aspects of life as well. The flip side to this card is that it can signal like biting off more than you can chew, and like overexerting yourself to the point of like burnout and exhaustion. It could also mean like not like actual like physical I'm working all the time or like whatever, but it can be like an emotional, like a mental marathon that you've been running for a while, and you're just trying so hard to manage normal everyday stuff that you're just like starting to like just lose your shit. So oh no, I put makeup on it. Anyway, this one also talks about preparing for a rainy day, because you never know when the scales are going to tip. Put some things aside for yourself, and just make sure that you've got some security to fall back on in case anything goes wrong. I don't really like feel like there's like impending doom, but it's just a reminder that having a piggy bank or having some sort of rainy day fund is gonna be important for you. The three of pentacles. Goals. I talked about this in my lunar reading. Set goals for the month and make sure that they are achievable and attainable, and don't overwhelm yourself, because I am a criminal also for overwhelming myself with my goals list. This one here talks about dedication to your goals. So I feel like a lot of our soul family is really like, after COVID, it's kind of put a lot of things back into the mixing bowl, and we kind of were, I'm going to say gifted, and please don't get shit at me for that, but we've been gifted that time to reassess everything around us. Completely unpleasant gift, I must say, but it definitely gifted us time, and time is invaluable. So dedication to goals. This is important because you have got new ideas. You're feeling a bit more refreshed, granted maybe a bit raw and vulnerable, because like your financial situation might be a bit funky. You know, that you could have, like, your business could have experienced a loss, your company could have closed. Like, there's so many things that have changed, but you've got some ideas on how to resolve it for yourself. And I am getting like the whole like independence vibe, which I also did channel through in my lunar reading as well. So I'm not surprised that this card popped up. Be willing to learn from your mistakes. Hindsight is a cruel mistress, but she is the best. I love admitting hindsight, like just being like, yeah, reflecting on that, like I totally was not ideal, or I could have handled that better. And hindsight, you learn from hindsight, so it's like, it's a good thing. Your behavior is the reason for the consequences that you are experiencing. Stop blaming external factors, because that's just ignorant. Sorry. That's coming from me. Laziness is definitely a thing here. Still getting stuff about relationships, like friendships, that need to be moved away from because they are kind of like hindering growth. Oh, right, I wrote down here, challenging the wealth of relationships. So that's where I was going with that. So I don't want this to seem like I'm saying that everything is wrong and relationships must be put under the microscope and reassessed and rada. If you feel it inside you, in here or in like your solar plexus, and you're just like always fighting with somebody, or you don't leave their like an interaction with them feeling secure and feeling looked after and feeling like an equal kind of like experience. So I did talk about energy transference in my lunar reading, where like you go and have like a conversation or like an emotional connection with someone, and you guys kind of like transfer energy, where like your nice light happy energy goes to them, and all of their heaviness and their anxiety and their like their monkey that goes on their back transfers to you, and you're left feeling really depleted and like being like a little bit more aware of like the energies that we're encountering on a daily basis. I think challenging your relationships is kind of talking about that. Like you don't obviously need to like end all your friendships or end all your relationships or whatever. It's just like reassessing them with like your truth glasses on, because it's really painful when you love somebody but they're not good for you. It's the worst. I totally vibe that. Like I know how that feels. So it's just like food for thought, and like don't be afraid to like see it and acknowledge it, and then you can decide what the best way is forward for you. Like you should be your number one priority. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. So this one here is setting the foundations for long-term goals. So obviously they go hand in hand. Quit procrastinating. Procrastination is the worst, but it's so easy to do it. Oh, I'll just stop doing my studies and like go on Instagram for like an hour. Whoops. Yeah, procrastination is going to be the end of you, and you're just going to end up being stagnant and sad and depleted, and we don't want that for you at all. Something interesting that comes out of this is earth magic. So, oh my god, that sun is like literally killing me. I'm just going to put this blind down. Give me a moment. Oh my god, so much better. I thought my eyeballs were going to burn out of my face. Okay. Earth magic. So there's a couple of things you can do here. You can search up like grounding meditation that puts you back into contact with like the earth's energy, so your earth star. There's a lot of those on YouTube that are really good. You just like search up like grounding meditation or earth star meditation, and you should find something that'll tickle your fancy. in there. And also like going out and like connecting with nature is a really good way to do that. It's kind of hard at the moment in New Zealand because it's like really cold and like wet and rainy, but like if you get an opportunity to go and just like sit outside and like sit like on a wharf or like somewhere like by a body of water, because water obviously is like cleansing and purifying, and sometimes it's really nice just to like soak up that earth energy. So like definitely make that a priority to try and like let yourself breathe. Okay, this one here also is reconsidering the placement and success of wealth, like your perception of wealth. So oh my god, my hair is like so annoying me right now. I need to wash it, like I'm so gross today. Anyway, reconsidering placement of wealth. So wealth and like your measure of success, like by money, is like not the most like accurate representation of wealth. So you could have like fuck all money but have like amazing friendships and like amazing family life, and like you're an artist and you paint, so you're like, you feel full. That's abundance, and that's like emotional and spiritual wealth. Material wealth, it's just like not always like the be all and end all. Like obviously having money is like comfortable because you don't have to worry about certain things, and it is like a means for survival in this plane. But if you measure your success off how much money you have in the bank, you're going to be really like disappointed and sad, even if you have lots of it, because abundance and wealth should come from love, because that's nice, and love is always there. Love is healing. We love love. Oh, lots of messages. Alright, so the last one that I pulled, which is like the governing card, is this guy here. Remain in the light. So pretty. These cards, this was the first tarot deck I ever bought. So they do mention God, but they don't mention God in like the traditional like Christianity or Catholicism sense. They're talking about the source. So this card says, today I observe, I take time to think calmly and wisely, and I go forward with complete confidence, knowing I will succeed. No matter what happens today, I will remain in the light. I will maintain my faith and my equilibrium, which means balance. In this way, I nurture my soul and become a strong and steady representative of the light. Pretty. Yay. Very good. So that's going to conclude this reading for today. I hope that you take something away from it. I've actually really enjoyed this process so far. I'm still really nervous though, but we'll see where they throw caution into the wind. See where it takes you. I'm gonna follow my own advice and like get over my fear. So yes, lovely. Thank you for your time, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.